Hi, I'm Pascal and welcome to the first Exo Colony Devlog. Now you might wonder what happened to Lake Misfit. 2 months ago I realized that I had to put the project on hold because the scope of the game was way too ambitious and way too big for a hobby project, at least at the moment. But I still want to work on a game as a hobby project, and I want to continue doing YouTube and these devlogs. So today I want to introduce you to my new game, Exo Colony, and I want to show you what I was able to achieve in the first weeks of development. Before we start, if you like these kind of devlogs, please consider to subscribe and hit the like button. It would really help me to keep my motivation up and make these videos more visible. Besides that, you can also join my Discord server, so if you want, feel free to hit the link in the description. After I made the decision to put Lake Misfit on hold, I was looking for a new game idea. I played a lot of Astroneer with a good friend, and I asked myself if I could develop a game inspired by the same core mechanics, but with a fresh and unique touch. In Astroneer, you have to discover and harvest resources to build all kinds of machinery, which you will then use to refine your resources and craft even cooler machines and also vehicles. So my idea for Exo Colony is quite similar, but with the main difference that my game is going to be a top-down 2D pixel art game. This will come with some obvious restrictions, but on the other hand, it should also allow me to develop the game in a much faster fashion and provide me with the possibility to add features like wildlife, NPCs and alien animals, which are not a part of Astroneer at the moment. I started with some 2D mock-up scenes to get a feel of what the game could possibly look like. I also pixeled a proto-player character, which looks quite cute if you ask me. I really dig the idea of conveyor belts and automation features so that the player can harvest the resources, put them on a starting point, and then a process line will handle everything else. But let's start with the basics. At first I had to implement a player character and some kind of movement. I decided to go with a tile-based 4-directional movement like in Pokemon, because the whole game should work in a tile-based manner. I spent quite some time coding a tilemap data structure, which stores all grid-based entities, their current position, layer, etc. The Unity tilemap feature is quite cool and I use it to paint the world's floor at the moment, but I don't want to rely on it that much because I believe a custom solution is more practical for my use. If you're more interested in the tilemap code architecture, just drop me a comment and I'll demonstrate how it works in a separate video. So, here we are. Our player is moving around just like in Pokemon. Now we need something to interact with. I started with some basic resources that the player is supposed to destroy, so that a resource item might drop. After I implemented the basic functionality, I added some polishing in form of a player drill animation, flashing sprites and particle effects. Not perfect, but looks quite nice for the moment. Since I'm not that experienced with the particle system, it took me quite a long time to create an effect that looks somewhat okay. For the flash effect, I just created a super simple shader with the Unity Shader Graph editor. Now that there are items laying around, the player should also be able to pick them up. So the next step was to code an inventory system, make the player able to pick up and drop items. That was actually quite easy to implement, since I was able to reuse some of the inventory code I wrote for Lake Misfit. After I was quite happy with the progress I made so far, I had to start working on the final feature for this devlog, the conveyor belt. So, back to Sprite and start the pixel nightmare. It wasn't that complicated, but to be honest, quite tedious to animate all 12 different conveyor tiles. But after that was finished, I started to implement the feature to spawn the conveyor tiles out of the inventory if the player has the necessary item for it. That wasn't too difficult, but it was quite tricky to make the conveyor tiles connect to each other in the correct way. After some bug fixes, everything looked quite good for the moment. One problem was that the player could easily build himself into a trap with no escape. So a jump feature is highly appreciated and will most likely be implemented for the next devlog. But now to the final touch, putting items on the conveyor belt and let them move around. That was actually another quite simple implementation and I was really surprised of how good it's working. I honestly thought that there would be more problems down the road, I just wasn't able to predict, but I mean look at it. The items are moving around smoothly, I can put them on the belt and pick them up. Great! So, and that's already it. That's all I can show you today. I hope you enjoyed this devlog as much as I did working on this exciting new project. I'm totally hyped for this project, and I really hope and I really want to drop these devlogs in a regular fashion from now on. Until then, please hit the like button, subscribe, join the Discord, all links are in the description, and yeah, I guess we will see each other soon. Bye!